You want to do it? Perfect. Okay. Hello, I am Lauren Wenzel. I am a Sapphire Ambassador with Plexus and love it. That's why we're all here. I'm super excited for the couple of speakers that we have tonight, and I am going to jump right into letting Brittany speak. She very graciously is joining us a little later than her usual bedtime routine, and shuts it down. She is a busy mom of 4 kids. She homeschools. Um, she has been with Plexus for 5 years. She lives in the Pocono Mountain area in Pennsylvania, and she loves doing hiking, all things outdoors. She was able to retire herself out of healthcare after 12 years of working in the hospital in order to homeschool her kids, and Plexus has been a big blessing with that. So I'm super excited to hear from her tonight. I had the pleasure of meeting her back in the fall when we were down in Florida for Leadership Excellence, and she's great. I love her energy. I'll drop her Instagram handle as well if you guys want to go and follow her. She's just super authentic and genuine the way she intertwines Plexus into her everyday life, and I just love following her. So Brittany, take it away.
Thank you so much, Lauren. Hey, everyone. Oh my goodness. I was not nervous until I got on here and saw all these names. Like there's some famous people on here, like Plexus famous. So I am so excited to be sharing with you guys tonight. I know I only have like 10 minutes, so we are going to jump right in. I'm going to try to just add some value to you guys. And my topic is organization, which may seem like super boring, but I actually get so excited about it. So I am really excited to talk to you about organization and really about time management because they really go hand in hand. And so thank you, Lauren, so much for asking me to share. I so loved meeting you a couple of months ago. You guys just have a wonderful team. And so just a little bit more about me. Like Lauren said, I worked in healthcare. For 12 years, I was working in the hospital system, but my background is in health promotion and wellness management. So I've always loved all things wellness and helping people be healthy. So Plexus was obviously a great fit for me. But when I started, I had 3 little kids. My youngest was 4 months old, and I was still working. So I have done the working and doing Plexus thing, and I have done the stay-at-home mom doing Plexus thing. But I knew there was an opportunity here, and I fell in love with the products, have a really awesome health story, which is for a different time. But basically, I built my business to Ruby in like 30 to 60 minutes a day, just focused time. And I really feel like that was kind of what got me off the ground. And those are the tips that I love sharing with people, because I know we have some busy ladies on this call and maybe some busy gentlemen as well. And I really know that it can be done. Since that transition of quitting my job in healthcare, I quit my job to be able to homeschool my kids. We moved from South Jersey up to the Pocono Mountains, had this whole big life transition. At the time, I was Ruby, and then it pretty quickly went from Ruby, Senior Ruby, Emerald, and now I am an Emerald Ambassador, and I've been with Plexus for 5 years. Okay, jumping right in, I want to first talk about time management and really the mindset behind it. How many of you feel like time management can be a struggle? I see some head nods. Okay. Yep. Raise a hand. This is like a universal thing, right? We all struggle with time management. It is a universal struggle. We're all juggling a lot of things, whether you are a stay-at-home mom, if you are working outside the home, or you're just busy, right? We always find a way to kind of fill our plates and be busy. Right now I have 4 little kids. My youngest is 11 months old. I am homeschooling them. So like it can be really, really crazy. But in order to be successful in Plexus, we need to be consistent, right? Consistency is the key to success. There is no secret sauce. It's really just doing the things plus time equals diamond, right? The time frame is going to look different for everyone, but really it's just showing up and doing the things. So in order to be consistent, we have to tackle this time management and organization thing. Okay, so let's first just talk for a second about the mindset behind time. We really have to start here because it is a universal struggle. So how many of you can relate to these thoughts? Have you thought this? I could be successful if only insert thing, right? If only I didn't work. If only I didn't have so many kids. If only so-and-so helped me, right? Guys, that's victim mindset. We just have to call it for what it is. Okay, that's victim mindset. Or how about this one? You look at a diamond. She's successful because she has less on her plate than me. If I didn't have blank, I'd be there too. Has anybody thought that? That's entitlement. Okay, guys, we have to like see these things for what they are. A lot of times we fall into victim mindset or entitlement when it comes to thinking about time. And it's really just a scarce mindset. It's time scarcity. So instead of having those thoughts, if we can recognize them and choose an intentional thought, and here's the intentional thought that I choose. I have plenty of time to do all the things that need to get done. If you start your day and you climb out of bed with that thought, I have plenty of time to do all the things that need to get done. What's going to happen is you are going to be solutions focused instead of a victim to your schedule, right? Because when you feel like I'm already defeated, I don't have enough time, you're not going to find solutions. You're just going to find excuses, right? You will fulfill that self-fulfilling prophecy that you don't have time. But when you choose, I have plenty of time, I'm going to be able to get the things done, you will become solutions focused. Okay. So I want you to choose that intentional thought. I have plenty of time. Choose that abundant mindset. And instead of saying, I'm too busy, try saying, this isn't a priority to me. And that will really preach. That is a way to kind of preach to yourself, right? Instead of, I'm too busy to do my IPA, just say, you know what? IPA isn't a priority to me. Whoa. But that's what we're saying when we don't make time, right? We're saying it's not a priority. I absolutely love the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. So if some of these things are like resonating and you want to go deeper, pick up that book, get a copy, audiobook, whatever. But he says your outcomes are a lagging measure of your habits. Okay. Your outcomes are a lagging measure of your habits. So are you where you want to be in your business? If not, we just have to take ownership for it and look at the past 3, 6, 9, 12 months. Okay. Because wherever we are now is just a lagging measure of the habits that we've had. Okay, so the habits become super, super important. And I want to give you some of those habits so that you can implement them. Time management is self-management. Okay, so in order to kind of master this time thing, we have to look at what we are doing and if those habits are lining up with the outcomes we want to produce. So I love the nitty gritty. I love sharing what's working for me, and you guys can take the parts that will fit with, how you work your business, and leave anything that, doesn't work for you. But there's 2 things that I have found save a lot of time and mental energy as your business grows. So I want to share those 2 things with you. The first is having a weekly reflection and planning time. Okay. So for me, this is usually on Sunday afternoon, but just sometime during the week where you can sit down. Usually the weekend works well. Grab your planner, your spreadsheet, whatever it is you use, you need something. Okay. Don't hold everything in your brain. We can't do it, guys. You cannot do it. And actually increases your stress level when you're trying to keep things in your head, right? All your prospects just in your head, or all the things you need to do. You feel that anxiety rising. As soon as you get it out onto paper, onto a list or into a spreadsheet, whatever you use, you will feel your stress go down because a brain dump, you can just get it out. So I am a big planner person. It's like ridiculous in my office right now. Passion planners were on sale. I have like stacks, like they're just everywhere because I give them as gifts. So I love paper, but whatever works for you, have a planning time. So I grab my planner, I get comfy on my chair, and I just set up the week. I promise you, this will save you hours and hours of time. Some of the things I write down is I make a spot on each day for like what's going on that day. Even like what hours am I doing school with my children? Because that takes a chunk of time. Phone calls, trainings, things I have coming up. And then I also write down a couple different spots. I put new. Okay, so these are new people I'm reaching out to, follow up, tap rooting, and social media. And I kind of get a skeleton for the week of the work I want to do each day. All right. So as names come to mind, I'm putting them down, who's starting their products. I've got follow-up I need to do. Tap rooting is reaching down into your lower level. So who am I connecting with on my team this week? And then social media, just an idea for a post for each day. Okay. So what am I talking about? Am I doing a business post? Am I going to post a testimony? Whatever, getting a shell of that down. And then what happens is when Monday morning rolls around and like everybody's starving and it's crazy, you open to sit down and do your work, you open your planner, you already have that shell of a day lined out. You are going to save yourself so much time. And also it takes away the hesitation, whereas if I put someone's name down that I want to reach out to, I know I wrote their name down for a reason, and I just do it. Okay. I just reach out to that person and do my IPA and crank it out. It is so time efficient to plan your week ahead of time. So whatever works for you, if you do winning day, or if you guys have IPA sheets that you use, whatever it is, like just get a skeleton out in your planner or whatever you use for the week. That is going to save you so much time. The other main thing, okay, so 2 main tips: have a planning time. And the second is to do a focused hour of work daily. Okay, this is if you want to grow. If you want to grow your business, if you want to move the needle, do a focused hour of work. I know we say you can work in the nooks and crannies, and you can, and there have been seasons in my life where I had to do that. But if at all possible, do a focused hour of work. You will see so much more growth in your business. And for me, it's so much less stressful than trying to like shove it in here and there. And I love the Kristen Boss formula for a 1 hour of focused work. I'm just going to share with you how she breaks it down. Basically 4 categories, 15 minutes each. 15 minutes to connect, 15 minutes to engage, 15 minutes to make an ask. And this is usually the step that we skip because we get a little uncomfortable here, but you have to make an ask, right? Like make an offer to someone, and then 15 minutes to serve. So the connecting, that's like on your Instagram, messaging followers, following up with people, sending friend requests. Engaging is maybe you go live or you do a post about the products, you post a reel, you send an email to your customers, whatever, you're engaging with people. That ask is make a direct offer, invite to an event, offer a sample, or make a post with a call to action. And then serve, this is usually what we find really easy. Check in on your customers, check in on your team members, add value on your team page. That's that service area. But seriously, if you spend just 15 minutes in each of those categories, 5 days a week, you are absolutely going to see growth in your business. Okay. So I'm already out of time. So I'll just kind of recap. Starts with your mindset. Choose an abundant mindset around time. You have plenty of time to do what you need to do, right? We just have to prioritize and get organized around it. Have a weekly reflection and planning time. And whenever possible, do 1 hour of focused work per day to move the needle. I could literally talk for an hour more, but I will wrap it up there. Guys, thank you so much. And if you have questions, just pop them in the comments.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And it's okay that you went over. And it was very briefly going over, so no worries. We try to keep it 10, 10, 10, just so we don't keep everybody on here longer than like 35 to 40 minutes. But thank you so much. I feel like organization is kind of the like unsexy part of business and just life in general. However, life gets really ugly and messy if you don't prioritize organization. And business can get really messy or just really sloppy. You avoid things. You just don't get around to doing it if you're not intentionally planning that time. So thank you so much for sharing some of your tips that help you, especially just being a busy person yourself, like always having a lot of things that you are juggling. And so many of us are like that, even no matter what season of life we're in. So prioritizing and scheduling, being intentional is all super important. So I am going to move on to our second speaker, Amanda Harshman. She is a Ruby ambassador and a good friend of mine. She has a son and she has 5 bonus kids, stepchildren, and they stay so busy all of the time. Their family, she has such an insane health testimony. I can't wait for you guys to hear it. So Amanda, go ahead.
Okay. Am I working? Okay. Okay. My name is Amanda Harshman. I am a Ruby brand ambassador with Plexus, as Lauren just said. I am so happy to be here with you tonight to just share a little bit more of my journey and my testimony and the products that help me. It honestly doesn't feel real to be like sharing a testimony with everybody. I never started for a testimony. I just wanted to start for more energy because I had a son and I just wasn't living. It was terrible. So I'm going to go into more about that. And I started taking Plexus products all the way back in 2016, which seems like forever ago. But I've come a long way, and we all have to start for a reason. And there's always a purpose why we start with these products. And that journey for me began back in 2003 after I had my son Hunter. And I was a first time mom, and I had a beautiful pregnancy, beautiful delivery. I was healthy. I was doing everything to my knowledge, as you know, as far as I should have been doing. Everything was going great. I was living out in sunny California and everything seemed great. But it was also like an extremely stressful time for me. Obviously, I was like like I was a new mom, which brings on a whole other realm of, stress alone. I was away from family, which was back in Michigan, where my hometown is. And so I wasn't really around like a good support system, even though we had like online and everything. I just was feeling like very alone and like I was doing it all by myself. So we thought that moving back to Michigan would be a really good answer. And for sure it was. Like I was with my family again. But as far as like my relationship goes, I was engaged to Hunter's dad. We weren't married yet, but that relationship was not good to say the least. So I was navigating motherhood for the first time. I wasn't in the best relationship. It was very, very stressful, which we all know stress can be like a silent killer, just like inflammation can, which triggers all stress can trigger all of that as well. But I was going back to work full time. I worked in oral surgery. And so I was away from Hunter, and I was figuring out like my independence as a single mom because things didn't end up working out with Hunter's dad over about a year or so after we moved back from Michigan. And my family was going through a really, really hard time with one of our family members who I'm extremely close with alcohol issues. So the stress level was like really, really high, just a lot going on all at once. I didn't know then, but I know now that I was going through postpartum depression, which I knew nothing about. And I didn't know to like figure that out in the middle of everything going on. Just in the midst of all of that stress, it began to show face, and I began experiencing like all these really, really bad symptoms. It started with numbness and like pain in my shoulder, which I thought maybe it was from working in oral surgery. I'm like bent down a lot, working with my hands and standing. And then that just continued to like work down my arms, and I had more pain. And then I began having a lot of pain in my legs. And then I started to like trip a lot and stumble because my pain in my legs were so bad that I would have a really hard time walking. It ventured into like headaches in the morning and night, along with extreme fatigue all day long. I used to have to like go into the break room to take a break and take a nap in the dark during my, like in between surgeries. I would have to take a nap on the couch when I got home. And so I wasn't able to be with Hunter right away. Thankfully, my mom was around to be with him, but it was really, really hard. My speech I was beginning to like slur my speech, which was extremely embarrassing. I sounded like I was like drinking, and which was affecting my work because they asked what was happening. And I told them like I was experiencing these symptoms, and that led to me getting laid off, which was not, which was very, very hard for me. I took very much pride in my work, and I went to school for it. And that was a stressful, trigger as well. I gained a lot of weight, and I had never had weight issues before. I never even owned a scale up until last year, but like the weight kept adding on. I get confused a lot, had a lot of brain fog. I remember driving one time, and I literally had to pull over the car because I didn't know where I was going, let alone why I was even in my car. And I had begun to have like a panic attack, and it was a huge mess. So with all of that, I knew things were getting worse, and I knew I needed help, and I knew I needed to like seek like help through going to the doctors. And so I saw multiple doctors, neurologists, had multiple brain scans and MRIs and tons of blood work. And I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, which is MS. And they found a lot of lesions on my brain after one of my scans. And that was like the reality for me. With all the symptoms I was having, I was like, okay, this is real. I could like see things were changing and it wasn't going in a great direction. So I knew things had to change. The doctors told me that I was going to have to be on some pretty heavy medications that cost a lot of money, like a lot of money. I was like, how is this going to happen? Like, what am I going to do to make this all work? And a lot of the medications were going to give me a lot of the same side effects that I had been having already. So that didn't really make much sense to me. And so I knew I had to keep like doing research to try and figure out like how I can like fix this. So in early 2016, that led me to a holistic doctor in town up in Michigan. And I feel like everybody on earth needs to go see a holistic doctor. They just do things completely differently. It was so in depth. I was there for 2.5 hours. They were asking me these questions, just simple stuff like how much water do you drink? And like, how much salt do you get in a day? And things I'd never been asked by a regular doctor before. And he said with my age and health history, I shouldn't have MS. Like it's just not typical. It's not what they see. But he sure knew I was like a walking diagnosis that needed to be addressed. And so with all of that and being there for the first appointment, he said 3 things that I'll never forget. He said, we need to address gut health, how to lower your inflammation, and blood sugar stabilization. And at that time, I had no idea what that meant. I thought, okay, I'll change up my diet or whatever. And he went into a little bit more detail. He told me to research gut health and he put me on some vitamins and things that I was deficient in, prescribed me like this compounding agent that reduces inflammation and like the severity of the symptoms. And that had like almost 0 side effects. So I was okay with that. And so I started to feel a little bit better over the next like couple weeks to a few months. Like I have a little bit more energy. So I was like able to get through my day a little bit easier. My pain was a little bit less, but it was still just like not there for me. Like I was like, something's not right, even though I was changing my diet, like it's just something seemed to be missing. So a few months into that, I was scrolling Facebook. This was in October of 2016, and I saw a friend's Plexus post. And the 3 things stuck out to me. It was gut health, inflammation, and blood sugar stabilization. And I was like, huh, okay. Well, that's what my doctor said. So naturally, I Googled Plexus and what it was. And everything started popping up like natural, plant-based, like all these testimonies that were linking their symptoms to like other stories and, you know, my symptoms and what they were going through. It just like all started to click and how it turned their health around. So the next evening, the girl who posted, she actually was having a sip and see at a local church. And I went to that and it just like totally clicked for me. And that night I ended up purchasing my products and I ordered the triplex and a bottle of Edge because the Edge was like totally helped with energy and I knew I needed that. So it arrived, you know, a few days later, I got it and I did not listen to my sponsor one bit. I was like totally excited, started taking everything and completely had candida die off. And I never knew what that was. And I don't, you know, recommend that for anybody. So I always ease my customers into a regimen, but I was in bed terribly with like headache and everything for a couple days. So they told me to stick with it, drink my water, still take everything, don't quit. It's working. You just went a little gung ho and took it a little too quickly. And I was like, okay, I'm going to trust you. So I stuck with it. And a few days into it, I had a little bit more energy. I wasn't taking a nap. Second day, I wasn't taking a nap. Third day, I wasn't taking a nap. And I was like, this just isn't real. It's like too good to be true. But then I started to go to the gym because I had energy and I wasn't taking a nap on the way to the gym when my husband would drive in the car. I wasn't sleeping on the couch in the afternoon. So I was able to play with Hunter a little bit more and all the kids. I was shedding unwanted weight in the second month. and lost 10 pounds. I was having so much less pain. I was sleeping better. I felt better. My brain fog was going away. My vision was improving because I was losing eyesight in my left eye with all my symptoms before. My hair was growing and it wasn't falling out in clumps anymore. And so over time, I added in like X Factor, Mega X, Ease, and things just continued to get better. And so after about a year, I had a follow-up with my original doctors, Western medicine doctors, and to do another scan. And I took another scan and the lesions on my brain were completely gone. So that was a huge moment for me. And I thought my doctors would be happy. Instead, they were pretty much speechless in not a very positive way. And they really didn't have anything to say. I asked, I told them my journey and what I had been doing. And I was so excited to share with them that I had found gut health and this is what I was doing. And they didn't have anything to say at all. And I asked what my next steps should be. Should I have a follow-up with you, more blood work, anything? And they just said, nope, that's all we can do for you today. And they kind of walked out the door. And I was just like taken back at the lack of response or awareness around anything that I had just said, that it was just completely ignored. So I knew from that moment on that I was doing the right thing. And I continued to see my holistic doctor. I kept going and I wanted to commit to something bigger. So I actually went on a journey of losing a total of 50 pounds and signed myself up for a bikini competition. And then I did 4 more after that. So I had fun with it for a while. And here I am 6 years in. I'm still taking the products. I'm still adjusting my product regimen. I'm still, adding in new products and, just going with the flow of how I feel day to day. And I still notice the benefits that it brings me every single day. And I'm also free from every symptom that I was experiencing with my MS, along with many others that I didn't even know that were an issue before. So I will always be consistent with my Plexus, period. And I'm beyond grateful to have complete control over my health and to be able to share my journey with everybody and just try to help as many people as I can. So that's it.
Thank you so much.
Sorry, that was long.
It's okay. I mean, that's like an in-depth story, and it's obviously not just your average standard, like, I was looking for energy and then I got it, like there's a lot of layers to that. So thank you so much for sharing the whole of that, because I think it's super important to hear people's like actual experiences and how that affects your life. And that's super scary at such a young age to be facing something like that, and also to be kind of told that you can't be helped to an extent by people that you would hope you can trust. So I'm obviously entirely glad that you went down the path that you did, just seeking help for your health, and that you're in the place that you're in now. So thank you so much for sharing that with all of us tonight. I am going to keep this quite brief in our last section here, but just talking about the good old reset. One of our more recent additions to the product line, and it has been a game changer for so many people. I've enjoyed it myself, and what I love about Reset is the flexibility that it offers for people to utilize it for their goals. And it is not just a weight loss thing. Like, it is not a weight loss thing. I have 0 weight loss goals for myself, and I've still completed 3 resets since it was released in June last year at convention. So for me, I'm somebody where I probably plan to do them like once a quarter. There are people who are utilizing them monthly to get to their health goals. And it looks different for everybody. So I love the flexibility that Reset offers. I'm not going to go through and like talk about every single product in it. I would assume at this point, hopefully everybody on this call, you have done your own reset. And if you haven't, I would love to know maybe what your hesitation is, what your fears are. maybe what's holding you back from going ahead and trying one, because I think number one, it's super important for us to be able to have our own testimony with each product. Even if I don't feel like a product is going to be the best fit for me personally, I usually try every product that Plexus puts out. One, because I trust the company and I trust the ingredients that they put into our products and the reasons why they give them. Two, because if it is a good fit for somebody that I talk to, I want to be able to recommend it to them. And I think that's extremely important to have my own opinion on a product, especially a system like this, where it is in depth, though it's super simple. So 3-day system, works on a cellular level to reset your body so it can actually be functioning as it did years ago. So in your 30s, and it's functioning as it was in your 20s, so on and so forth. So fantastic for people literally at any age at this point, and to be doing them regularly to help your body just be functioning at its very, very best. Again, this can be for anybody who might have weight loss goals. It might just be for people who kind of need that kickstart with healthy living every once in a while. If they want to have a better relationship with food, I think that's a really great reason for people to do a reset. If they just simply need to have a better relationship with what they're putting into their body, and depriving your body of sugars and carbs and most fats for 3 days will truly allow you to do that. You can kind of come out of that and feel your body is just not asking for those things anymore. So I love Reset for all of those reasons. I know that they have recently reformulated the collagen bone broth and the Restore. I have yet to try those, so I would love to hear your personal opinions if you have had the privilege of trying the new formulas of those two things. But I have heard lots of positive feedback on that for people who have. It is recommended by Plexus that you do a reset once every 90 days or so. I think that was the original recommendations from them, but they have, I believe, come out and stated that you can, in fact, do them safely every single month if you want to. I would not recommend any more than that personally. Also, when somebody new is getting started, and this is just my personal opinion, this is not like what is stated. I thought doing my first reset, it's simple and easy to follow the system of it, but it's not easy. Like, it is not easy to go 3 days without eating and consuming food. And it's definitely more of a mental struggle. I thought, I can't imagine doing this as somebody who has never, gotten my gut health correct, not being on any Plexus products, not ever trying any Plexus products. So for me personally, when I get a customer started and they do decide to purchase a reset welcome pack, I like to get them started on their regular routine and regimen for at least minimum a week. I usually recommend that they get on it for 2 weeks, so they are hopefully moving out of any potential detox or die-off phases, and at least like having a chance to feel good before they go into a reset. So that has seemed to work really, really well for me personally. So I just wanted to at least share that tidbit of information. And I kind of just tell them, like, we're going to get you started on your routine and kind of up to speed with your dosages, and then we'll go ahead and get you set up for a window of time that works well for your schedule. These are when we do team chats that we can get you plugged into if that works, because it's super nice to have the support of other people who are doing it. So make sure you're doing all of those things for your customers, because it really does make such a difference if they feel supported during their 3-day reset and not like they're just out on an island doing it by themselves, because it is not fun. It's not fun. Let's just be real. So I'm not going to go into a scientific breakdown about it and be super ingredient nerdy and stuff, but the reset has been fantastic. Hopefully it's been working well for you and your goals too. Thank you so much to our guest speakers for getting on tonight. I appreciate you ladies deeply, and to everybody else who took time to get on here. Hope you guys have a wonderful week.